Welcome to the Tabletop Galaxy, an actual play podcast using the Star Wars Roleplaying game by Fantasy Flight Games. You're listening to Broken Space, a campaign utilizing the Edge of the Empire sourcebooks and featuring two groups that affect a shared storyline. This is episode 4 of The Second Sunrise and her crew. And with me today, wherever you are in your ears, we have... Do we normally start with Niffer?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I'm ready this time.
So let's do who you are, your character, and if you spent any XP.
All right. I am Niffer. I'm playing Ellie, the colonist politico. I'm a Twi'lek, and I didn't spend XP because I haven't been threatened with death yet. So when that happens, I'll spend XP.
My name is Nick, and I'm playing Kane McAllister. He's a human mercenary soldier. I spent XP upgrading my heavy ranged attack and my gunnery skill. Nice.
Because Kane's in a spot. We'll get to that in a second, but Kane is in a spot.
Should have upgraded medicine.
What's going on, folks? I am Seal, and today I am playing Vosk, the Duros Technician Mechanic. I did not spend any XP because I am saving up for the next chunk in my tree. I've spent XP every time so far, so I had none prior to the end of last session.
Greetings, friends. I am Gregory. I am playing Zarko Cruz. Zarko is an explorer scout. I did spend some XP. I have currently used all of the XP we've been given. I spent mine on upgrading my medicine, and also I picked up a 4th talent in my tree. The one I got is called Familiar Sons talent, and what that does is it allows me, once per session, I may perform a familiar son maneuver, which means I can make a hard knowledge outer rim or core worlds check to reveal the current type of planetary environment and other useful information. So that might come in handy. And yeah, previously I had gotten Let's Ride, so I'm looking forward to using that one.
Until the GM permanently grounds your ship and you're stuck on Sequoia forever.
Super fun behind the scenes factoid. Familiar Sons was one of the possible names that I was like, this name is not taken on Twitter and Twitch and everywhere. I'll go ahead and reserve it. So that was a possible, before we were Tabletop Galaxy, I grabbed a couple of names like HoloNet Heroes and Familiar Sons and those sorts of things that might be good stream or campaign names, and that was one of them.
I really like Familiar Sons. Why didn't you tell me that was an option?
He probably did. You know how many things Seal tells us in chat that we're like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's fair. Called out.
Sorry, hang on.
And last but not least,
and I'm Steven, the bad DM or something, and I spent my XP leveling up my lore, Edge of the Empire rules knowledge in the break. So it's still pretty low. The ranking is not high, but I'm learning, and we've been having a blast and telling a fun story. So who wants to do our obligation roll?
The person who has the macros set up, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah, that's more a, hey, whoever has it, do the obligation roll.
Hey, Seal.
Drum roll. The obligations of Kane, way up on the group.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Is the obligation the fact that you're almost dead?
That is
Considering
really interesting.
where we are currently,
I don't like any of this.
You're not supposed to.
Do remember that you need to adjust your thresholds down. It is not, you did not take strain damage. Your threshold has dropped. And keep in mind that we have not healed any wounds or strain from our last shindig. We do, however, need to look up once again what that rule was for when a combat ends. You can roll a vigilance check and recover some strain or something.
Yeah, you can recover strain.
Pull that up.
all right, but so the strain went back up to what it should be, and then we drop it again? See, this is what's confusing me.
Yes.
Because
Technically,
last time it went down from 12 to 11, it's
Yep.
not going from 11 to 10, right?
No.
Yeah, because if we didn't roll obligate, if nobody's obligation was rolled, you'd stay at your
At
12.
12.
Your normal maximum. At
But
the end
you
of every
guys are-
session, you're supposed to set it back up.
Yeah.
So that at the start of every session, we can adjust it based on what gets rolled.
But y'all are
suppose-
so obligated to the galaxy
And
that
But our strain that we had stays where it was. So like I had 2
Yeah.
strain. It's still
oh shoot, I don't have my power cord. I'll be right back.
okay.
Big
and
yikes.
my string gets reduced by 2, right? It's 2 for
Correct.
me, 1 for
2 for
everyone
you,
else.
1 for
Yes.
all of us.
Perfect.
Oh,
Great. Love that.
I pulled up the things. You can do a medicine check and recover wounds equal to successes and recover strain equal to advantages.
And that's
But-
at the end of a combat.
yeah. I was gonna say that's
What's the page reference on that? Or is it on a handout?
It was on my notes from Table Talk.
Okay.
I didn't cite my sources. I was a very bad person.
And then we've got our destiny roll to see if destiny or the force or whatever you want it to be in your mind is on your side tonight.
It's not.
Here's
oh
hoping.
gosh. Okay, here we go. I'm ready.
I'm so afraid.
Somebody didn't clear the poll.
Yeah, geez, who didn't do that?
Also,
That
Kane,
is-
this is the second time you've failed at rolling Destiny. Like, there is a roll Destiny button.
Yep. I don't know why it's not the one I keep clicking. It looks like it should be that one.
So should we sink the pool? We're gonna clear the pool.
Hang on. I'll clear the poll. There we go.
Alrighty. I'm ready.
Ready,
I'm going. Whoo!
Yeah, now do the thing.
Again.
Again, one dark side. I was doing so good.
Oh, Ellie.
light side.
Hey, nice job, Emmy.
Finally. Come on, Vosk, roll a dark for the first time. What a goody two shoes.
You don't-
But,
Okay.
you
You guys
guys Kane rolls
Okay.
good dark side.
Is this the first time y'all are in the positive?
Oof. Nope.
No,
we are
we were
Yup.
positive last time.
3-3.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
balanced. It's 3 and 3.
No, it's not.
4-3.
It's 4-3.
It's 4-3.
So we have Ellie
Oh,
with
that's
2
right.
light
I
side.
apologize. Yes, I can add. I promise.
We have Ellie with 2 light side. We have Kane with 2 dark side. We have Vosk with 2 light side. And we have Zarko with 1 dark side.
All right. And last but not least, this is a special thing that we do because we have a really old ship. Ellie, would you like to do
Yes, I do.
your ship quirk?
How many options do we have? We have
17,
19
I feel?
options right now.
Growing.
We're growing. People, submit ideas to me.
Yeah.
I love to hear them.
If anyone wants to add a quirk about a really, really old spaceship, send it to us.
Don't tell us until we get on the ship, though.
Okay.
Send it to. Can you message?
Yeah, I will send
me,
it.
That's a good idea, actually.
Something so that like
I will
if it's
whisper
something.
it to you on Zoom.
All right. So last time on Tabletop Galaxy, the crew of the Second Sunrise found themselves in the midst of a small Imperial compound on high alert as Ellie had failed to hack into their terminal systems successfully. Klaxons were going off. The guards were alerted. However, she did pull off some damaged information that she got on a data pad. They rescued Kaizet, who was a human. Well, rescued's probably not the right word. They contacted Kaizet, who then tagged along with Ellie and got arrested by some stormtroopers on the roofs of the dormitories in the compound. A fight broke out, and Ellie and Kai ended up in binders surrounded by 6 stormtroopers on the top of the roof. Elsewhere, as the klaxons were going off, Zarko was trying to run around the outside of the compound from his lookout position that he was at with Kane to attempt to climb up the side of the wall and help Ellie. Kane took matters into his own hands and started just blasting at the front gate, causing a pretty effective distraction. And Vosk found some cheese fries and wandered around the compound for a while. Luckily, as the group was vastly outnumbered, it seemed like it was a hut group, but the mechanic that Vosk had worked with earlier to install a navicryptor into a Hawk series series transport, kind of muttered under his breath something about something happening too soon, went over to a wall, planted what seemed to be an explosive device, and blew it up. And a speeder flew in, adding some hut presence to the fight, as well as another speeder came to the front and took off some of the heat from Kane. However, Kane ended up with some stormtroopers trying to flush him out of his kind of sniper position. And while he was the victor in the firefight, he is left on the top of the roof away from the rest of the group. At his wound threshold, he's got nothing left to give. He's taken some blaster fire, and Ellie and Vosk and Zarko are with Kai on the roof inside the compound. It seems as though everything's quiet as the Hawk transport quickly blasted off into space and was pursued by two TIE fighters. There's a host of dead Imperial stormtroopers. There's a couple Hutt thugs that are dead as well. Zarko, I believe, ran down and jacked a utility belt.
Depending on where we are, because
I'm gonna say
and Ellie were sort of dealing with the dude on the roof and also the tablet to try to figure out what they found.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you were able to get down and come up. Okay. And the last thing you got, and I'm gonna post this back in the chat again. You found some coordinates.
He got it already.
Oh, you think you're better than me?
I was trying to help.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I have the best group. This was basically all the information. And if you're watching on the stream, you can see kind of the message, as well as something that is clearly coordinates.
For the podcast, I'll put it in the show notes or something so that audio only people can see this message.
Yep. And so there you are. I'm gonna go with Kane. We're gonna start with you. Bleeding, burnt from the blaster fire on top of the roof. Everything seems quiet. What do you do?
He's gonna try to catch his breath for a second as he sort of starts to look around and kind of assess all of the wounds, like looking to make sure things aren't bleeding worse than he kind of thinks they are. And he comes across one on his side that is definitely bleeding worse. So he kind of holds on to that. He's grunts a little bit, kind of looks around because I jumped to the second rooftop. So
yeah,
I guess I'm going to look around to see if there's a way down from here. If there's a stairs or ladder. Or...
Yeah, you see there's kind of the building you're on. There's a door that you can see kind of similar to the one you came up in the other building. And you're about 20 feet above the ground. And if you care, I did look up you can make a medicine check after each encounter if you want to do that.
Probably all do.
What's the page reference on that?
220 or 219 and 220.
Is there a negative effect if I fail my medicine check?
I don't think so. I think you
use a light side point to boost it.
You just recover as many wounds as you have successes.
Okay.
So coming back to the roof and noticing that Ellie is injured, could Zarko do that for her, or does she have to do it herself?
Yeah, I have a critical injury.
It could be either way. Healing critical injuries.
So Zarko, he comes bursting back through the door, and he's like, "Hey, look, I got one too!" And he's like strapping it around his waist. Like,
and then you realize I'm literally bleeding.
And then he sees this like trail of blood down the side of your leg, and he goes, "Oh my God, Ellie, come here!" And he's gonna.
And I'm just like standing there, just like. Just that's it. And I have taken the cheese fries container if possible and I'm just trying to eat some.
Yeah. So to do, if you want to try to heal the critical injury, that's a specific medicine check against the
difficulty,
the severity of the critical injury that Ellie took.
Sure.
Was I supposed to check the number, like the thing that I got? Oh, I have it. It's on here. Cool. I didn't write it down myself, but apparently it got put in here from Roll20.
Yeah, so whatever it says the severity rating is, that's the difficulty of the medicine check.
It is
And then-
distracted 16 to 20, and it's 1 difficulty die.
Okay. Yeah, so if you wanted to do that, Zarko, you would be welcome to. Kane, for you,
Should I do it right now? Is it all set?
it is not set.
Okay.
It is...
Do it yourself while he explains to Kane.
Yes.
Why is
I
it
will.
happening?
I will. I got it. Gotcha.
Kane, yours will be average because your current wounds exceed wound threshold, which you don't do. Yeah.
He's
So
over
you-
half, though.
Current wounds equal more than half of your wound threshold, so that's an average difficulty.
And
Yeah,
one
I-
difficulty for me, right?
And
One
Yeah,
for
easy.
Zarko,
So-
2 for Kane.
Got it.
so once you roll, Zarko, we'll have
2 success.
nice.
1
And
advantage.
I believe
So Zarko like rips some material off of the stormtrooper and like wraps the leg real quick, ties it, and then takes some time cleaning it. And
yeah, and so that that heals that critical injury, so you can remove that.
Heal
from
it.
your, Yeah.
Done.
It doesn't add any wound, like it doesn't take
Yeah,
any
it doesn't
wounds
heal
away.
wounds or strain.
Correct.
Oh,
And then-
yikes. I have more wounds than I thought I did. I hadn't looked until just now.
And then, and actually, Kane, this may play into your decision. It is harder to heal your own wounds. So that'll add 2 to the difficulty. So yours would have 4 purple dice.
Upgrade that. Or dice. Upgrade
I mean,
that.
if there's no negative to it, I'll try.
Sure. I mean,
There's no reason not to.
I mean, the negative is you can't do it again.
I can't.
No,
Or
like
anyone can't?
you can't. Nobody can.
Okay, never mind. There it is. I was like, there's got to be a downside here. Yeah,
You
so,
can either attempt to fix it, and if you fail, so be it, or you can limp over here and I'll attempt to fix it.
I will
Yeah.
do that one.
But
So,
either way, we can get to the ship and then like do the night's rest healing thing that will not be affected on whether we pass or fail.
Yeah.
Kane,
But
Yeah, Ellie will definitely suggest not having the party split anymore as soon as possible, because it's been a couple episodes.
So Kane looks around, finds that one of those wounds is pretty bad and is just sort of gushing blood. And the more he pushes on it, the more kind of comes out. And so he shoulders his rifle up for probably the first time in a very long time, and with his good hand kind of draws his pistol. And he sort of limps towards the door, but it's that moment where like the adrenaline's still rushing and like the blood's pumping to his head and he's losing so much blood that things are starting to get hazy. So as he swings the door open and kind of like aims his pistol down the thing, he kind of falls against the wall with his shoulder, and he's just slowly going to start making his way down, doing the best he can to like keep watch and look out for anything else that's coming down.
We have comms too, right? Like I had called them before. I will probably start calling for Kane anyways to be like,
speaking of comms, while all of this medicining is happening, remember Vosk was ripping boots and a helmet off a stormtrooper? I specifically took the helmet for a reason, and once we have a second, I want to basically flip the helmet over and kind of dig inside and see if I can very easily remove the earpiece for the radio that's in the helmet. I don't know how stormtrooper helmets work. I'll let you make that call.
Yeah. Why don't we? Shoot, I don't have my list of skills. I'm gonna pull up somebody's sheet real quick. Why don't you make? I'm gonna say.
I mean, I can just make an intelligence check, but
Yeah,
if
I
want it
think
to
you
be
can do. You can do mechanics or computers. I'm happy for you to do either one of those. I think stormtrooper stuff isn't like super advanced or anything.
Okay. Again, I assume it has to be modular so that you can I don't want to get too much into my own experience with military radios, but you have to have them encrypted and keyed every so often, swap out the batteries and stuff like that. So it does have to be movable to a degree. But again, this is the 70s vision of future technology. So who knows?
Yeah. Pool set.
Pool is set. My pool is clear. And you said mechanics?
Mechanics or computers. You can make that choice.
Mechanics. 3 successes and 2 advantages.
Nice.
Right.
Anything you want to do with those advantages?
I don't break anything else in the helmet. Like the helmet is still usable and I'll be able to put it back in super good. And the boots are my size.
Yep. Sounds good. They fit as you slide those things on. You're like,
I'm not going to put them on now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to chuck them in the backpack.
There might even be some like Tempur-Pedic foam on the bottom of those ones.
I'm specifically focusing on the greaves, the actual shin part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important part. But I definitely still the lower leg guards off the stormtrooper, grab his helmet, flip it over, pull the mic out and the comms out so that I can listen to Imperial chatter while we attempt to escape this compound, and then chuck the boots and the helmet in my backpack.
Yeah, and you can hear kind of as you listen in on some of that chatter, some of it's codes and stuff. One thing that it's loud enough that he's not here. Never mind. You hear lots of stuff kind of chatter through this comm, basically about the stolen hawk. It sounds like there's actually a few different units of stormtroopers still around, but they're all in kind of the hangars in this compound for now.
Got it.
Did all of the speeders take off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of the minute that hawk kind of raised off the ground, they were out of there. It was very clearly. Well, I guess you wouldn't know this, except that now that you have the comm, but they had a very specific purpose, and once that was accomplished, they were out of there.
Well, I think it was probably somewhat obvious. Like the hawk took off, and then the TIE fighters like took off chasing it and shooting at it. I'm thinking, but
yeah, for sure. Sure.
So I didn't mean to interrupt there, but as folks were doing the medicine thing, that was Vosk's primary goal was I want to be able to hear what's going on before I sit down and try to heal wounds and stuff like that. I am going to go read the reference on the end of combat thing. Jay did just give us something about
you make a simple discipline or cool check, and each success recovers a strain.
That's the one. So y'all should do that on top of the medicine check. Like everyone can just do a simple discipline or cool check, which simple means that there's no difficulty. You just make the check and you can recover 1 strain per success. Yep. So everyone should do that because we got some strain last time.
And what was the skill we use again?
Cool
discipline
or discipline.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
I will choose cool because I am hella cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dang.
Whoa.
Pew, 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 pew.
You are hella cool. Tell everybody what you got.
I got 4 successes and a triumph. Does that mean that literally everyone just is feeling so much better? Please can Kane not be dying?
You can. Well, Kane's far away. Kane doesn't see you being excited. But I will say that the other 2 can also recover an additional strain if you want with your why can't I remember what it threat or
triumph?
Triumph.
Successes?
Thank you.
So I forgot to clear my own die pool, so that should actually be 1 success and 1 advantage.
Yeah, and you only heal for the successes, or you only get the strain back for the successes.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
So while that's happening, Kai, this kind of jittery, nervous human, is up there and it's like, so are you all just gonna? Are we going somewhere? They're going to come back eventually. It might not be in 1 minute. It might not be in 5 minutes, but they're going to come back and then they're going to kill us all because this is bad. This is very bad. And I
clap my hand on his shoulder, like really firmly. Like
he flinches. He flinches. He's just like,
and I kind of give him a little shake. I say, how are you about climbing? And then I head over to the. I don't even wait. I just head over and I start to help Ellie.
Need to find the last member of our party. Actually, might be a good idea to try and find him. Just gonna point that out.
Calm. Hey, Kane, you still alive over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You don't sound fine.
Good God.
Where are
man. Give yourself a stim pack.
And at that cough, you guys can't see it, but like a little blood kind of like out of the corner of his mouth, and he wipes it away.
Does Kane not have a stim pack?
He does not.
As y'all get on comms and start talking, that's when Vosk is going to realize that he muted his comm back when he didn't want to get in trouble in the diner. So he's got the stormtrooper comms going on now, but I'm gonna fish through my jumpsuit and grab my comms and turn it back on. And then walk to the edge of the building and look over and see what the rappelling would entail. Are we 4 stories up?
Yeah, you're about 4 stories up.
Voss turns around and looks at Ellie and name. I forgot. Kai. Voss turns around and looks at Ellie and Kai and says, stairs? You guys want to take the stairs?
Honestly, the rappelling is probably the most stealthy and probably going to get us in the least trouble in case them, and I motion like towards the rest of the compound, start to come back. So maybe Kai and I start going down there and you try and find Kane.
So,
and I point mostly at Zarko, but also a little at Vosk.
Go ahead, Zarko, and then I got something.
So Zarko kind of looks at you and says, yeah, I mean, we could certainly go down the stairs. I could probably help us avoid getting caught if we're quick and quiet.
Well, we need to do something quick.
Kai pipes in and he says, you know that Imperials live in this building.
Right.
That's why I want to repel.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys seem to know what you're doing, but I just wanted to be kind of clear about that. And the
boss grabs his comms and says, Kane, don't head to this compound. Meet us somewhere safe. We're going to try to get down on top of this building. Good luck.
Are you sure you don't need help?
20.
No, I'm fine.
You don't sound fine.
We can help him when we get there. Let's get off this building. We're too much in the open.
Agreed. So
I will not go down first, actually. I will direct one of the boys down first and then get Kai and then me.
Boss looks at Zarko and says, I'll go first so you can help them on technique. And we'll grab the rope or the cable or whatever it is and 1 foot on the edge and then over the side. What do you need from me?
I think for the sake of this, we're just gonna say you guys are capable of climbing down successfully. But if you're taking your time,
yay!
You wanted to roll? No. We can roll.
No,
I mean Zarko would probably give everyone sort of a little quick thing. Like you literally all you have to do is like loop the rope around yourself as a break around your waist, and then you just take your time and walk down the side of the building.
Yeah. So you guys are all able to make it down pretty successfully. And Kane, you also as well are able, like you can get downstairs. You see, once you actually get down to the street, you see a few more of these like hut thugs in the street that are seem to be dead. The kind of that front gate is just like blasted open, and stuff's still like smoking. It's pretty wrecked. You can kind of see the general direction that the rest of your group went.
I'm gonna take as much as I can back alleyways.
Okay.
And the same thing as the stairs is just like I'm barely standing at this point and just sort of like scraping the walls as I go. And like every bad action movie, just like, you know, keep leaving like a handprint smear of blood on the wall, like as I sort of
I
turn
hate
the
this.
corner. And I take every corner as carefully as I can with my pistol in one hand.
Yeah. So you kind of, as they were kind of deciding what to do and taking their time getting down and shimmying down the rope, you get to the group and you all see, the three of you and Kai see Kane. And why don't you just give one more description to them for like, as you walk up.
So he, I'll say like I turned a corner, basically like, with the pistol pointed out, and he's like, oh, it's you. And then he falls down to his knees and just like sinks down, holding this pretty like his hands are just red at this point, and like the entire side of his shirt is soaked.
By the stars, man! What happened?
I walk up to him and I'm just like right by his head. I don't try and help him up. I just literally just hold out my 3 stim packs to him and just stare.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I'm supposed to put a stim pack. Is it right in the
either.
wound? Is it near the wound? Is it like an EpiPen right into my leg?
However you want it to work, that's how you do it.
Right into the leg.
And you just recover 5 wounds.
Whew. Just like that, huh?
I am going to attempt a medicine check. I know that I can do a better one when we get back to the ship. Are you okay with the medicine check here, or do you want to take your glorious 5 wounds and get back?
We should probably get going. I don't know how many more of them there are in there.
And kind of as that's going through your comms, you hear Shay's voice. Is everything okay? There's a lot of movement here at the docks. There's a lot of things going on.
We're almost on our way back. We'll explain everything when we get there. There's a lot to get through.
And over as you're saying that through, you hear Kai go, Shay, is that you? And
not into my ear.
There'll be time for reunions later. We gotta go. Get the ship ready.
I'm
just get it ready.
There's a droid near the hyperdrive. Talk to him. He'll be really rude, but he'll help.
Okay. And in the background, you hear a song pop on, kind of through her comm link. She's like, it's been doing this the entire time I've been in here. It's just like for 10 seconds, this music just pops on and then it.
Yeah, it does that. It's 11
off.
seconds actually, but it does that.
It's terrible.
Just go.
You too. Keep Kai safe.
Let's keep going.
How can we get back to the ship and kind of stay off the main roads?
You could probably do it with a good skullduggery check.
I'm sure I could.
I think I'm
Streetwise.
good at skullduggery.
Is Streetwise a skill in this game?
Yes, it is, and I'm good at it.
Yes,
We
Streetwise.
do it.
Yeah, I would say now that Kane's probably not just profusely bleeding out.
So then maybe Ellie and Zarko work together. I have 3 greens. How about you?
I have 1 yellow and 2 greens.
So then I would like to give you a boost. I will be your lookout because that's my job.
Is that how it works? They just.
I want to help her, right? So I'm gonna.
I don't remember the help mechanic, so I'm just going to give you a boost for now.
So
Yay.
if the person doing the helping brings a skill or a characteristic that is higher, you can use that one instead of the person who is doing the task.
Oh, that's right.
If the person who is doing the helping does not bring anything new to the table, their stat and their skill are both lower than the person making the check, it's just a boost.
Right.
Gotcha.
So she's got a better score than I do, so it's just a boost.
I'm cooler than Gregory,
It
so
is. I added the boost and the difficulty, so you're all set.
here I go. That is 2 advantage.
How would you like to use that?
I want to not get caught.
It's not necessarily fast.
That's
but
not
we
a
don't
success.
Yeah, it's
in
not a
trouble?
success. So
Okay, fine.
Recover some strain.
Sure.
Give somebody a boost on their next check.
You know, I'm not a tracking expert, but
This isn't the way we came. I'm sorry.
no, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah, kind of as you're walking through, you're staying off the beaten path. There's not a lot of people. You keep seeming to find some dead ends, and in one of them, you see two kind of shady looking individuals.
Crap! Let the DM roll on the random encounter table.
Oh yay!
My brain is the random encounter table. And one of them looks up, and Vosk, you recognize this individual from your time working with the Dazzle. I don't remember.
Sarajik?
Yep, with that clan. Is a human, pretty gruff, long beard, got a scar under his right eye. He says, "Vosk, is that you?"
What's his name? That's great. I didn't think of anything, so I guess it's Drakala.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay, I'll put that in chat in a second. Long time no see there, buddy. What's up? What brings you out here?
And he kind of looks you all over, says, "Same old. What brings you all out here?" He's particularly looking at Kane. Were you all part of that little
bit
incident?
of a dust off? It's not our fault. Not entirely our fault. Was just trying to get some work done, get paid.
We got caught in the crossfire, you could say.
Of course you did. The crossfire, likely.
No, but seriously, one of the Hut gangs, the Vindarajar, they got something with the Imperials. I think they might have stole a ship.
Ballsy. Good for them.
Like I said, it was not entirely our fault. I was legitimately working on one of their ships, just doing the mechanic thing, and explosions and speeders and ship theft, and we're getting the heck out of there.
Well, it would be a shame if someone could report who was at the Imperial compound to the Imperials. I'd probably get a little bit of money from that.
Yeah, they probably would, but it also probably set them up to have enemies for life, so they would probably need to think long and hard about that.
You're going to threaten me with enemies for life? You owe us.
I mean, it wasn't a threat. It was a declaration of facts, I guess.
A bold move to make enemies with people you owe money to.
Again, I'm not trying to make enemies. I'm just saying it seems very out of character for you to go scrambling to the Imperials for a payoff, considering.
Well, you haven't paid us. Somebody's
and yet
got to.
Here I was trying to do work and get paid so that I could pay you the money that you're owed, and I don't know. The galaxy just has it out for me, I guess.
So what are we going to do?
Who is the other person with him? You said there were two people, right?
Mm-hmm. You see a large red Nikto that's got a cane-like blaster on his back.
Okay, well, joke's on you. We have a disintegrator pistol, so...
Yeah, I would imagine that Zarko's like looking to Vosk for a signal. Like, should I?
Vosk
our way out, or are we blasting our way out?
Vosk is playing it really cool and kind of just winging it at this point. He's not made a move for his gun or anything. He did that like... It was almost a threat, but it wasn't like, I am going to hunt you for the rest of your life. He was reminding this person who, based on the network they're in and the context they have, that like getting down on their belly and going and tattling to the cops, like, cool. But what Vosk is going to do is I have my blaster, but then I have the blasters that I stole off the Hut Thug, the Venderajar folks in session 1. So Vosk is actually going to I'll have to look at exact money. I don't think we have split money yet, but I'm going to give this guy a chunk of credits and one of these standard blasters and be like, look, it's all I got on me right now. Like I said, I've been honestly trying to get some work done and get money. But it's all I got. So I can probably get 200-300 credits for the blaster, and it's all the pocket chains I have with me. So
Did we grab the Stormtrooper's blaster from the roof? I would not have left that behind.
yeah,
Sure.
We didn't specifically talk about it, but we did talk about looting the body.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have given him the Stormtrooper blaster because that's like
Fair.
a military weapon. I very specifically
Fair.
gave him the Hut's standard blaster. I don't know the model number, but
Right. So
a civilian
then
weapon.
Vosk would probably pull some credits out and without saying a word, just like hand them over to you as well.
Zarko.
Sorry, Vosk. Zarko would pull some credits out and hand them over to you.
Again,
Yeah, as that happens, he kind of smiles. He says, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just a little, we'll call it a down payment on
right.
what you.
So
you're a good mechanic, Vosk. If I can find some work, I'll help you. Hey, Geek
That's-
Unleashed, thanks for stopping in real quick.
rating with a party of
Nice.
9.
Hey.
That's awesome. Welcome.
Woohoo!
Sorry. Go
Vosk
ahead.
is going to say, right, I'm good at mechanicking, and that is why I'm trying to get work as a mechanic. And I've got a couple of things lined up right now, and I know that this is the type of stuff you hear all the time, but I am worth more to you out here working and getting paid than whatever the Imperials are going to give you for me, right? So sure, they go in, they do some questioning, and they find out that I was just working on one of the ships and had nothing to do with what went on. Nothing to do at all. It was the Venderajar huts, and you know, they're more worried about the ship that got stolen right now than some guy who walked around for an hour stealing cheese fries out of the garbage. So,
You eat
Long
cheese
story.
fries out of the garbage?
long story there. I
You're
didn't
weird.
actually eat any. Not important. What I'm trying to say is, I'm worth more to you getting jobs done and paying you back than I am a one-time payment and then rotting in an Imperial interrogation room. So take the blaster, take some pocket change, and we'll be in touch shortly.
I look forward to it.
Zarko handed over 200 credits.
So much to
He
pay
seems
off
like
a
you
random
got some
dude.
you got some good friends. I'll let the boss know that you're
Yeah.
finally bringing in some change.
Zarko's been like totally staring this guy down. Not threateningly, but just like eyes on this guy the whole time.
I've
like-
been much more on cane control to make sure he doesn't.
Love it.
He's still kind of like swaying a little bit.
I'm
Lost
doing the
a few
support.
pints of blood.
I'm doing the support / holding him back.
Yeah. So
motion.
as
For
that
the record, Gregory, I probably would have been somewhere in the area of 50 to 75 credits.
Yeah, really.
I didn't give him multiple
100.
hundreds.
Sure.
I gave him the pistol, which is worth
I
in
see,
the
I see.
book like 400. So street value, he could probably sell it for 200 to 300, or get whatever, or keep the gun. You know.
Cool. We'll call it
but, like,
75.
There we go. So I'll knock 75 off my sheet and the pistol, and
So
then
that's 150 in credits and plus the blaster.
and you can detach that off of my tab with
we'll,
I'll replace that from party funds if you want. I have the party funds.
sure.
we'll probably call that covering some interest, but we'll pass that along. And
I don't want to get in your business, but are you going to be here in town? In case I need to get back a hold of you, we're not sure if we're going to stay planet side, but
yeah, you come by our space. You know the shop.
got it.
Or you can always ask Drifter. He can always get a hold of me too.
Sure thing.
And he
I don't want to go spreading any bad juju into the universe, but it was actually Drifter's guy that seemed to be part of that whole kibosh in the compound. So not sure if you were aware of that or not.
I wasn't. It's interesting.
Yeah. Again, I've only worked with him a couple of times. I went to Drifter's this morning, trying to look for some work. He said he wasn't sure. So we took it upon ourselves to meet up with his guide, Durian, there and do some work on the ships. And Durian was definitely involved with the folks who caused all that ruckus. So just making sure none of that heat comes back on Drifter.
Yeah, I mean, it may or may not, but
at the end of the day, it's him that contracted. They contracted out his shop. So
exactly. I mean, the Imperials don't do much here because they still need us all. But
yeah, they don't technically exist here. So
exactly. It's why the whole planet doesn't have a fleet of Star Destroyers above it right now. Surprised it's taken this long for somebody to actually attack the compound. But anyways, we gotta hand us a box to play. We'll see. And the Nikto has been totally silent, just kind of nods at you all. And they go in a side door. And why don't we get one?
Well, that was decidedly unpleasant.
Most of the people that I've had to deal with on this rock are.
Yeah. I know.
It's a miracle you turned out the way you did.
It's all right.
And
let's get Kane back to the ship.
Yes, please. And I start dragging him immediately.
Right.
Side note for our listeners. We rolled Voss obligation last game, but we were stuck in a 4-way party split compound battle. And so there wasn't a really easy way for me to bring that in. So that's where that came from.
Delayed blast backstory.
Exactly.
9th level.
So why don't we get one more Streetwise check?
Yay.
To see if we can stay off the beaten path.
All right, I'm going to be much cooler today.
And I'm assuming Zarko's helping still?
Please.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
So same check?
Yep.
Yeah, he would literally be like scouting ahead, like
holy
moving
smokes,
ahead to sort of make sure things are clear.
I'm so cool.
Yep.
What you got?
Three
successes.
Go ahead.
3 successes, 2 advantage, and a triumph. We need to just have me roll for everything tonight. This is going to go so well.
The party just teleports into the second sunrise. No, you guys are able to kind of weave your way through back alleys, avoiding any other confrontations with people. As you guys are walking through the spaceport, kind of heading towards your hangar, you glance around. And you briefly see someone that you recognize from your time in the rebellion. You see a human male that you remember on that mission that you thought you were the only survivor from. You recognize his like fire red hair. He's got kind of a weird, he kind of sticks his head forward as he walks, talks a little bit. Forward, always kind of got this furrowed brow, heads well in front of his shoulders, and you're not sure, but you think you make eye contact with him, and he quickly turns and walks down one of the hallways to a different hangar.
I'm gonna check to see whether or not our ship's ready to departure. I'll meet you guys on the ship.
You gonna be okay? You need someone to come with you?
No one should go anywhere alone at this point.
We're in the spaceport. I'm just making sure we're ready to take off. Everything's fine.
All right.
If everything's fine, then you wouldn't mind someone going with you.
I guess we're just going to talk to the lady with the droids. That's all.
Taco, please.
Voska's going to give Zarko a pat and say, you warm up the ship. I'm going to prep the med bay. That's where I'm going to head. I'm going to get things ready so that I have them on hand, but not so that they're loose for our daring escape from Socorro.
So was Ellie asking if I should go with Kane?
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, so he would sort of look between Ellie and the ship and be like,
It's fine. I'll get the ship. We can do medical stuff in hyperspace.
I've been rolling fine enough. Just let me do something. It'll be great.
yeah. All right, Kane, come on.
Stop patting people on their wounds, Zarko.
No, that was just a hand signal. That wasn't. Yeah, I didn't slap him on the back.
No, I like this running gag though.
It's fun.
So I'm gonna walk with Zarko probably like, I don't know, 15 feet and kind of wait for Ellie to walk onto the ship. Look, I think I recognize someone. I need a minute, Zarko. Everything will be fine, I promise.
All right, look, somehow we're in it together here. So you're already injured, and I'm not the kind of guy to leave somebody behind. So I got your back. I'll stay in the shadows. You do what you got to do.
Thanks.
So I'm literally going to trail Kane and use my ability as a scout and sneak behind him.
Okay.
I'm going to do all the switch flipping pre-flight checks in the cockpit.
Yep.
I essentially want to stay within blaster range.
So before we get to Kane and Zarko, Vosk and Ellie, you're going on the ship too? So
With Kai.
Yeah. So as you two walk on and Kai's behind, you see Shay is like waiting, and she's like tried to turn some stuff on. Vosk, once you get into the cockpit, you're like, what is happening? That's not like
I step in there and she's flipping all the switches and I hit the autopilot button and they all flip back like that episode of Futurama.
Exactly. But as Kai walks up the ramp onto your ship, Shay's at the top. They run up. The speakers blare this power ballad love song, pop song for 11 seconds. They run and embrace, and they're like grabbing each other's face and crying. And you hear Kai say, "They told me you were gone. I would have never." And she's like, "I know. It's fine. We'll figure it out." And then we're gonna flash back to Kane and Zarko.
I need to know if it's ugly crying.
Oh, it's super ugly crying. It's like there's snot bubbles and like the whole 9 yards. There's a lot of love and a lot of
The dog is like right next to them watching. Like it's bad.
The astromech droid is just like beeping annoying comments in droid. So Kane, you kind of, as you had this conversation quickly with Zarko, you see that redhead kind of walking down a hall away from the ship, away from your ship. What do you do?
I'm gonna follow down the hallway.
Okay. And are you, how are you doing that? Are you trying to like be discreet about it? Are you like full boring down the hallway, just walking casually?
Yeah, I'm not being quiet about it. And I think if I like turn into the hallway and I can still see him, like, whatever, how many of her feet, I think he'd call out to him. So he'd turn the corner. And did you already give him a name before I name him?
His name's
Perfect.
Dara.
Okay. Dara, is that you?
As you say that, he looks back at you, and just sprints away. Further down the hall kind of turns to the right, and you lose sight of him.
All right, I'm gonna take off after him.
Okay.
Likewise.
So why don't you, Kane, roll a perception check?
Perception. It's probably not good.
And it's actually going to be it's going to be easy because running through a spaceport is not super discreet, and he's only probably about 20 feet away from you when he made the turn. It's set.
Boom.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of
Call it out.
excuse me.
Yep. Sorry. 2 successes.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, success dice. bird. So you kind of barrel your way through a couple people, and as you turn that corner, you see him kind of slipping as well, getting caught, and you see there's a couple hangars that he could go to, and he passes one door to a ship, runs another 20 feet, and starts to go into a hangar that has a ship in it.
Daro, just come back for a second. I didn't think anyone else made it.
Doesn't say anything, and goes through the door.
I don't. Okay. I'm gonna get on the comm. Bosk.
Bosk turned it off. What do you want?
Yes. Bosk was muted in OBS and wanted to make sure this got captured on the stream.
I need to track a ship. How do I do that?
This doesn't sound like you're just checking a ship
Ellie,
out.
just give me a minute.
I don't have a ship tracker. You don't have a ship tracker. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
Zarko's going to try to catch up and see if he can get any insignia, number, any markings at all from the ship.
We can keep eyes on it, but we'd have to leave you here to take off. Like,
Zarko, roll me a perception check.
How do I
You have it set?
find a code?
Yep.
Ship's got a name. How do I know how it's docked in the port? Like, why?
you could talk to space port control and see if they have the transponder number of the ship.
Success to advantage. I'm actually going to use one of those advantages to reduce my last strain.
Okay.
And the other advantage is that I noticed something really distinct about the ship.
Okay. Yes, you do.
Like if it's a particular model, something about it has been modified, or there's some really noticeable blaster scarring, or I don't know, something along those lines.
As you kind of peek around that corner, it's a Lambda class shuttle, which is an Imperial shuttle that he's running into. As far as specifics, you get whatever the call signature is.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what you see. And Kane, you would see it, you would recognize this ship as well.
Zarko, we better get going back. Gotta get off this planet. Things are getting worse than I thought.
I thought you were done with the imps. What's this all about?
I don't know, but it's not good.
All right, well then let's go. I'm gonna actually try to again stick to the shadows kind of thing.
Okay.
Just be as subtle as possible going back to our ship.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You guys are able to make it back onto the ship. You see, as you kind of enter up the ramp, kind of in the main kitchen space or whatever you guys have called it. I don't remember the layout that you guys all made. But you see Shay and Kai just kind of like embraced and crying and talking and trying to figure out what happened and everything. And yeah, Vosk, at this point the ship is ready to take off.
Yeah, Zarko goes straight to the co-pilot chair.
I'm going to clear us with the tower or whatever we need to do, and basically say that we'll request a new spot when we come back. That we're leaving for an indeterminate amount of time, and have a great and sunny Socorro day.
Yeah, you get the comm back. It says thank you, and you do the same. We'll see you next time on the beautiful Socorro.
I'm going to take
This
off.
is not a vacation destination.
so
That doesn't mean that we can't be sarcastic. Like, as somebody who works in a crappy job at work, like, it doesn't need to be a vacation destination to meet the gate guard every morning with like, oh, another day in paradise. And there's
So you take off. Are you just trying to get into orbit,
we're getting off world first? Probably actually a little bit into like out of orbit and into space, like high orbit
so
and
sublight,
beyond.
like so you guys travel. So you're flying for a few hours out of orbit.
Yeah,
half a day or whatnot.
Hey, Vosk, why don't you let me take over for a bit? We're not going to get out of here right away, but I think Kay needs some help, man. He got hurt pretty bad back there.
Yeah, start figuring out where we might go from here.
Any preference?
I got some information off the data pad, and I'm going to pull out my data pad, and I have the thing that Ellie stole, and I'm going to pass it over to Zarko. See what you can make out of this. I just skimmed it, but some of the characters seem a little messed up. So take a look at this. The ship should handle the rest. I'm going to go do some patching and see what our 2 new passengers think on some things.
All right, I'm on it.
Cool. I'm gonna resend that for you.
Yeah, we should probably figure out where they actually need to be. I don't think we can just drag them along to wherever we want to hide out.
I'm guessing that they're fine with being off that rock, so...
Fair.
Kane, you want to meet me in medical?
Yep.
And I will say, as you guys take off, you see, and as you're leaving orbit and whatnot, you see the remains of a Hawk ship floating through space.
Floating?
Ooh.
Hey, on the comms, like, well, I guess they didn't make it very far. That Hawk ship looks like it's been toasted.
Does it say Halcyon Days down the side?
No, it says the third sunrise.
So before we go any further, do you guys want to take like a 5-minute break?
I'll do my medicine check real quick, and then we can do a break.
Okay. And that is average. It's set. Yes, it's set.
Okay. Can I get a boost die for being in a medical bay and having all of the cool equipment and not attempting to fix him with duct tape and t-shirts?
Sure.
That is that or me? Okay.
Hey, I took care of Ellie's critical that way.
Speaking of, I'm going to go change that.
Yeah, you probably want to
sanitize that. Woo! Okay, yeah, so you recovered.
Field medic and doctor, not the same.
Boss medicine check was 3 successes and 1 advantage.
Mm-hmm. So you recover 3 wounds, Kane, and you can recover a strain as well.
Nicely done.
From the advantage. Yeah, so you guys take off. You see this wreckage.
I want to point out that I apparently had extra dice in the pool. Did you add them to my sheet? Or did you add them to the dice pool?
I added them to your sheet because I thought I had the...
Okay, then disregard that.
Yeah, hold on. That is my bad. The dice pool is set.
What? We need to remove 1 boost die and 2 purple dice?
Correct. So I have in my...
I think it would still be correct.
No, it would be 3 successes, 3 advantage. If you remove those last 2 purple dice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, correction for the editing in the audio then. Voss medicine check is 3 successes and 3 advantage.
Yep. So 3 strain you can recover instead of just 1.
Boom.
Yeah, so as the second sunrise lifts off of Socorro, sees the wreckage, Vosk helps Kane with his wounds a little bit better. Kai and Shay are having their moment. We are going to step away and take... You want 5 or 10 minute break?
Either's
10. If we're back sooner, we'll handle it.
Taylor's choice.
Yeah, let's do 10 minutes. So 7:38. We'll be back here and we'll see what happens with the rest of the episode for the second sunrise. And we're back doing space stuff in space. So where we left off,
was doing space stuff in space.
Yeah. We're finally in space doing space stuff. The crew of the second sunrise was flying away from the planet of Socorro. Vosk had just helped Kane put his intestines back into his stomach region and get a little health. And you all are in space. You've got a weird corrupted data pad and two people who seemingly have not seen each other for a long time and may or may not have thought each other was going one another. Whew, that was not a good sentence. And they thought that the other one was dead. Each of them thought, you get it.
Yep.
Take
Part
two
of me,
strain for
like-
muscling through that sentence and taking your second maneuver to get through that word salad.
Part of me like needs to like give them their space and stuff and like not have to be there for the awkwardness. But the other part of me is like, I'm not letting them make out in my ship. No.
See, the name of this campaign is Broken Space, and that includes personal space. So go ahead and get in there.
I'll sit right next to them. No.
Yep.
Nope.
Leave room
No, but
for
Ellie
Jesus.
really needs to talk to those folks and figure out where we go from here. So
Leave room for the force. No.
Good idea. In fact, yeah, there'd be Zarko on the comm is like, all right, folks, so where are we heading? And meanwhile, he goes back to trying to decipher the data. And
Yeah.
can I make some kind of perhaps check about what this location
Sure.
might be? Like aside from that cryptic message, were there also actual coordinates?
There's actual coordinates.
Yeah, I mean, this is my jam, right? So I would love to try. I mean, not necessarily astrogation, but
Well,
astrogation.
so what I'll say
using
is,
stuff.
if you're looking for, you can do like you can plug them into your Navi computer and make an astrogation check.
yeah, I want to try to see if I can figure out about where it's
To see,
directing us.
yeah.
I mean, I can do. I'm skilled at astrogation.
Yeah.
I can do that for sure. So is that what we want to use?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, is it ready?
It's, yes, I have, and it's not in Vosks this time.
All right, here we go. Hey, one
right.
success.
So yeah, I need to pull up my map because I should have seen this coming.
This is making some sense here.
So yeah, so you plug it in. It isn't making sense actually.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
Well, the coordinates
so what
are
you're saying
right,
is
but
the gravitational pull is there, but the planet seems to have been wiped from the archives.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it looks like it's taking you somewhere in hut space. But it's not quite to Nar Shaddaa or Nal Hutta, and it's not quite to Toydaria, which is probably the closest planet. There's just what appears to be kind of some empty space in that general region, but off any regular hyperlane.
Would you say that the space there is broken? I had
Who
to. I'm
knows?
sorry.
and
Vosk is going to finish in the medical bay and head back up to the cockpit.
all right, Vosk, this is bizarre, man. These coordinates lead to basically nowhere, like literally nowhere. It's like it's in
Like,
between Nar Shaddaa.
Wild space nowhere?
Okay, not quite that far out, but it's like, you got a planet here, you got a planet here, you got a bunch of nothing in between it. It's that.
I mean, there could be a space station or something out there, I guess.
Well, it's not on the charts. I suppose that's possible.
I mean, it's hut space. How much stuff do you think in there is actually on
Valid point.
the charts? The
Yeah,
huts
you're
still,
right.
the huts still have like treasure worlds that outsiders aren't even allowed to go to. So there's so many moons and stations in hut
Wait,
space
what?
that
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
hut like treasure worlds. That's a thing.
Okay,
Like-
we're gonna have this conversation again because I need to know more about this.
You've been on the outer rim for at least a couple of years, right?
Well,
We-
yeah, sure.
I don't see how you came out and we did all that work together on the edge of the outer rim, and you haven't heard about hut treasure worlds. That's a thing, right? And I'm gonna like fire up the comms and the ship comms, and y'all are gonna get the most like
Yes.
random, not
The
related to
friend
anything. Like y'all have heard of hut treasure worlds, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My dad talked about them all the time.
What?
See?
What?
Neither here nor there. We'll have that conversation later.
Niffer's
Hyperspace or
Googling
whatever.
right now, but Ellie's totally heard of them.
Right.
So is Steven.
I mean, Zarko is still a little wet behind the ears, right? He's a little like he plays himself as like this, like well-traveled, like he knows all this stuff, but the stuff he knows is very so. Gregory didn't know that, but I thought, but if it seems likely that Zarko would, then that's fair. I think it's kind of more fun that he maybe somehow that was like one of those little. He just didn't have that much dealings with like the underbelly, right?
The one
Like-
urban legend you haven't heard of.
And
Yeah,
Vosk-
exactly.
And,
Like-
and Vosk has worked with the Huts.
Right. So that makes a little sense. So let's play it that way. So yeah. So look, I mean, you spent the time with the Huts, right? I mean, I was with a bunch.
Not necessarily by choice.
I was with a bunch of Creffin scientists.
Yeah, when you bounce back to the core world, so I didn't want to spend the rest of my life working for the corporations, so I broke off, tried to do my own thing, scrape together the credits for my own ship.
Oh yeah, of course.
and-
I mean,
and do that,
Vosk,
and-
buddy, Vosk. There's no judgment here, man. You did what you had to do. That's why I helped you out with the credits back there.
Why the question? Are we about to go try and rob one of the treasure worlds or what? Like, why the sudden poll?
Well, we'll talk about it once we make a jump. We're trying to figure something out. It looks like we might be going to Hut Space, which
And then he's gonna like Zarko puts his hand over the comm or like turns the comm off and says, "Hey, what about these two passengers? Is that a fair way to call them? I mean,
you raise valid points. We know next to nothing about Shay and even less about her.
I mean, yeah, we should have a conversation at the very least, don't you think?"
She's got ties with the Alliance, and while that's admiral, of course the rebels they take what they can get, and there's certain levels of operating
Right.
outside the laws on that as well. So I don't know her history, and it's something we can talk about. But let's get the ship on a course and figure out what we need to do, and we'll talk to the crew. So.
Well, this is as good as any, unless you got a better idea.
Let's not jump right in on top of it. Get us a little bit away, and if we need to jump out of hyperspace because of a change of plans, then we'll do that. But
What's the excuse me, Space DM?
Yes.
What would be the closer of the planets?
So if you're going to actually go into Hut Space, Toydaria or Narshada would be about equal from
And
it.
they're sort of equal. Okay.
Yeah, if you're staying outside of Hut Space, there's a couple like obscure planets that I can give you.
Okay.
That,
In or out of Hut Space? What do you think, Vosk?
I mean, yeah, I owe the Huts money, but I work for them and do
Right,
work
I
for
mean,
them. And there's probably a couple of places. I mean,
All right,
folks on
Toydaria
North-
it is. Click.
Vosk's
Decision
size.
making 101.
And he takes the stormtrooper comms off and kind of heavily sizes and is like, we can always dip into Narshada or something if we need to. I know folks in the area, but let's get on the road. Let's go back there and talk to them. So
After you.
Kane would have also wandered out at some point after getting healed by Vosk, and he will walk up to catch Ellie wherever. Where would you be at, Ellie?
I'm probably like in the doorway of the common space of like
Okay.
trying to go in, but being like, they need their space. I need my information. They need their space. I need my information.
So as you're sitting there, kind of trying to decide what to do, Kane will pop up. I also don't know the architecture of our ship very well. Behind you, I guess.
Yeah.
Ellie, what the griff happened back there? You were supposed to
don't
get
know.
in and get intel and get out.
I guess I move us back down the hallway because, like, Kai and Shay don't need to hear us have this argument. I'm sorry. I don't really know. We got in, and then Kai was very drunk, and he just kind of started wandering off, and I couldn't get Vosk to come with, and everything started looking suspicious. And I'm sorry. And I didn't really expect us to, get separated that much.
It's fine. Tell me about what you found in there. Tell me the exact moment. What do you remember?
I mean, about what? About getting the information? Or
well, we saw you walk in, and we saw you leave, and Vosk stayed. And that's all that Zarko and I were able to see before alarms started going off, and you called on the comms.
Kai had apparently been drinking his feelings, and so kind of just drunkenly swanned off to his quarters and dragged me along so that I could get into a computer and try and get the information.
A likely story. Continue.
I'm not the best with computers. I kind of figured that Vosk would be the one doing it, and so I tried my best, and that's when all the alarms started, because apparently I really shouldn't be by computers, which we already knew. And we made the best for it. We ran for the roof, and I tried to get you guys to come get me, and it sort of worked.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you made it out of there alive.
I made it more alive than you did. You get to keep the Simpacks now, okay?
Thank you. And I imagine by this point, Zarko and Vosk would wander
I do a very, hesitant and, look over to make sure I'm not hitting anything, and then do a shoulder pat. I don't want to be touching a wound. And then it's like, hey, have any of you heard of treasure planets? Yeah, totally. I guess
go ahead.
I was just gonna be to Kane. I guess we need to go interrupt the lovebirds and find out where they want to be going.
You go ahead.
Please don't make me do this alone.
Do we want to listen into their conversation first?
You're not in this conversation. We're in a hole.
No, yeah, we just walked up. Right?
We're all
we walk up
in a hallway.
So and actually Zarko's probably leaning just a little bit in, to
we all look so sketchy in our own ship.
Are we going to listen in on their conversation a little bit? I mean
that's yeah. And then we all just turn.
Roll.
Yes.
Whoever wants to do this.
Yes.
Roll. I think.
Is it skullduggery?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Or perception.
While you think about that, I want to go ahead and thank AZA Studio for rating us a second week in a row with RE5, because they play Star Wars tonight as well. So
Star Wars.
Unfortunately, they play before us, so we can't ever rate them, but we do appreciate them playing and then bringing their folks over here. So
absolutely.
Can we have a pregame party at some point in Raid?
That was what we should do.
We should do that.
So perception, skullduggery.
Skullduggery. It feels more skullduggery-y.
Fair enough.
I like being skullduggery-ish.
Hang on just a second.
Take your time.
Hey, you know what?
I'm going to use a freaking light side.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've made it half the show. All those light side points to just listen
again, Zarko's
being cute.
Right? Zarko is a very sneaky bugger, and he's pretty neutral. He doesn't take sides. He just, he needs information, so he's going to lean in a little and...
I'm a recovering criminal. I just like knowing things.
Fair. I love it. So what do I do? I hit the light.
Wow, you're actually using that point. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm serious.
I was joking about it.
Use light side point. Boom. Done.
Perfect.
I don't know if it automatically upgrades. We say this every week, but
it's upgraded in my pool. It hasn't been automatically upgrading.
Okay.
So it's upgraded in the pool now, though.
All right, but it's all set.
All set.
All right, here we go.
Can I do a separate one?
Oof. All right. So
All right. Well,
that was 2 successes, 3 threat, and a triumph. So I fall prone. I literally.
Absolutely.
So here, check it out. No, here's what happens. I'm trying to be super Joe cool, casual, right? I'm leaning again. I hear something, and I'm almost trying to lean in a little more to hear it because it's super important. That's what the triumph is. I hear something like juicy and important, and I'm so focused on like actually hearing the details that I literally slip and fall through the freaking door.
can we be doing the thing where it's like Zarko on the bottom and then me right on top and then Kane right on top of her? So like we're all just like
Scooby-Doo lean around the doors.
You're like no, and then Zarko falls.
We literally have a comm system, but nobody thought to just press the button and listen. We're all just like cupped to the door.
So as you're leaning, you hear this conversation going back and forth, and it starts just like, what happened to you? How are you? Okay? Is everything? Yes, I'm fine. I was just worried about you. And then you hear the Imperials told me that you were dead. I saw our home was in ruins. I don't know if you've been back there, Shay. And she's like, no, I got a tip that they were coming, and the rebels helped me get out just a little bit before they came. But I couldn't tell you. This is the first chance I've had to contact you. That makes sense. They've used that to blackmail me to. There was this group of I don't know, mercenaries or smugglers. I don't know. You know how it is out here. That the Imperials wanted me to have them run a job. They needed to steal some spaceship, some starship equipment from the huts down on Socorro, and if I didn't help give them kind of the lead and take that role, they said they were going to execute you. As well. It's okay. I have a feeling that we may be looking for the same things. And I had heard you were here. That's why I took this mission. So I heard you were on Socorro, and I thought I didn't think we'd be able to actually get you out, but I thought I could at least see you or get that message to you. No, I don't know what we do from here, but these people seem at least capable. Because they've helped me so far. I owe them a bit more money, but I mean, anything's worth the price of you being safe. Yeah, but this technology that we're looking for, it's gonna get more dangerous. I know, but we need to get it, and that's what you hear. And then you clatter to the ground. They look up. Are you okay? I didn't notice any turbulence.
No, sometimes I'm just
small hallways. We all
me.
try and get the same place at the same time. It gets really rough.
You're a unique group. I'll give you that.
That's not the first time we've had that.
Zarko just goes over and like plops down on one of the couches or something.
Right in between them.
And then Shay pulls out 4 more credit sticks. And she says, I believe I owe you 800 more credits.
Dang.
And she just puts it on the table that she's sitting by. So I believe that's yours. Were you able to get the information off the mainframe? Were you able to find anything?
So we got a little bit of something, and Vosk, I assume, got the data pad back from Zarko once we left the cockpit. Definitely. So I'm going to kind of set it on the space coffee table and show her the bit of scrambled text. Looks like our designated slicer didn't do the bestest of jobs, but we were on kind of a crunch, and stormtroopers were showing up everywhere, so this is what we managed to get. Set of coordinates and this scrambled text, something about the huts and technology. You can see a couple of the words like this looks like hyperspace lanes.
Yeah, she looks at it. She says, "Do you mind if I show Kai as well?"
Of course. You trust him, right? I assume.
Yeah, with my life. And she shows it to him, and he kind of looks at it quizzically. It seems
Kai,
like
you were working in there, right? What do you know anything about what the Empire was working on? I helped.
No, I don't know specifically. It's just there was this group. I don't know, kind of same as you all. Is like that I was hired to find someone to do a job to steal some technology from the Venderajar huts on Socorro. I don't know the specifics of what it was.
And that's already happened?
It's happened.
Not the hiring, the stealing.
Yeah.
Did they get what you hired them for?
I'm not sure how everything went down. That last I heard talks between I got pushed out of the conversation, but I assume that they did get what they were hired to do.
So the stealing happened on Socorro, though. They stole from the Venderajar on Socorro.
Yeah, there was like, you know how the huts like to have their big fancy skiffs. They went out, and I think it got pretty messy, and I even hear one of the huts got killed.
Takes quite a bit of effort to take down a hut, especially with all the security they like to have.
Yeah, something about a thermal detonator. You know how those things work. Turn huts into jelly.
Luckily, we haven't quite breached the level of random explosives in our jobs, so I don't know if that crew...
I don't know. We have Kane and Zarko. That's basically the equivalent.
Hey!
All the explosions
right
have happened near us, not because of us, though.
Well,
Yeah, what was that explosion in the compound anyway? How did that what the heck? What happened? We're up, Kane and I are up on the roof. All of a sudden, all the alarms start going off, and then after the alarms go off, there's an explosion. You would think it happened the other way around.
So, remember the guy that the mechanic that was already working there, the person that I was going in there to kind of I'm trying to word it in a way that Vosk would say it to Zarko.
Gotcha.
Remember, I was going to meet a mechanic there who worked for Drifter.
Right.
I met him, and we installed some weird part in the Hawk, the ship that took off out of the compound.
Yeah, right.
And
we saw the remains of it.
Right. So we did that, and then we went back to the cantina, the military chow hall or whatever it is, and him and I were just having a beer and kind of catching up because we'd done a little bit of side jobs together in the past, and that's where we bumped into Kai over there. And so Kai and Ellie take off to do whatever, and I guess get the information. And him and I are just sitting there, and that's when I guess Ellie did whatever and set the alarms off. And as soon as the alarms went off, he muttered
that was
something.
her. She did that. It wasn't.
He's
it
got
wasn't
your
me.
number, at least.
Right.
I was doing the best I could with the situation. Doesn't anybody understand that?
yeah,
Pop
I heard
music.
you.
Pop music for 11 seconds.
A lot of help you were.
Me?
Yeah, almost blackout drunk from the way I heard it.
What?
You'd probably be dead if it weren't for Ellie.
I mean, I'd probably just still be sitting in a bar, drunk, if it weren't for Ellie.
He does have a point there.
But
Drinking yourself to death.
okay, listen. The Imperials.
Zarko looks at Kane.
They had told me that that they had captured Shay. Oh, I came home to my home one day, and it was in rubble and ruin and smoke and fire, and there were stormtroopers out front, and they said that she was in the rebellion, and that if I didn't help, that they were going to execute her. So what would you have done? Would you have just said like, no, I'm not going to help you, whatever, or would you have done what you could to keep the person that you love the most alive?
It's definitely a tough call and a mark of character there. I'll give you that.
Can't say. I've never been in love before.
You should try it.
Pretty sure you love the ship. Just gonna say that.
The point I was trying to get across was it appears that Durian, my mechanic buddy there, may have been working with the Venderzar huts, because as soon as the alarms went off, he muttered something about it being too early. Didn't quite get what that meant, but then he went outside, and he's the one that set off the explosion on the wall. So I think he thinks that the alarms went off because of his friends, and so he went out and blew a hole through the wall so that they could get the speeders and whatever that...
Speeders?
You didn't see the speeders in the compound?
Okay, for the record, I was running. I was on a... Yeah, that all... There's a wall. I was on the outside of it.
You were also on a rooftop. I don't know the order of events. I'm learning stuff too. There was a wall.
Okay, so they blew
and
a hole
I was in a
the
building.
Wall. Okay, I got it. All right, I got it. I'm sorry.
He blew a hole in the wall, and the speeders came in, and that's when stuff popped off. So that's when I made my heroic escape to skirt around the compound and get up to where Ellie was, which is how I was able to come running up there and deal with the stormtrooper.
So as that's
so
happening,
Kai, you said they accused Shay of being in the rebellion.
Yeah.
Were you in the rebellion at that point?
She looks at you all and says, yes. I guess you already know that I am. But yes, I was.
Was he?
In a support role, if you will. He has not, at the time, he had not done anything from a mission standpoint. But we didn't want to both be active. Go ahead.
Clarification question here. Your job with the rebels. You came here because of Kai. Like you volunteered for the job because of him?
How do you know that?
That's a question.
She's looking at you kind of with sharp eyes. Yes and no.
Okay. I'm just trying to work out some of the details here. There's a lot going on. The rebels want the technology, or they wanted what was on that mainframe. So the rebels knew what the Empire was doing in that facility.
Yes, we've heard rumors that the Empire is after some technology that would allow them to completely control hyperspace lanes. And if they got that...
What?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like it might say here in this message.
That's what I was going to say as I looked through it.
Right?
If they could... I'm not familiar with what that is. But if they got that power, the entire galaxy would have no way to survive the oppression that they can bring. Even in the outer rims, there's nothing. If they could completely control where ships went, when they went, and how they went, there's nothing that anyone could do to stop that.
No, it makes sense. What do the huts have to do with this?
The rumor is it's not technology developed by the Imperials, that there's some hut connection to it. I don't know the details too much, but as I'm looking through here, that those coordinates are hut space. Have you plugged them into your Nava computer?
We're kind of coasting that way yet at the moment. We don't want to show up right on top of it, so we're currently heading towards Trodaria.
Yeah. Look, what I guess what I'm saying is if it seems like there's a race for this, whatever this technology is, and something else. I don't know what this evoc at the beginning is.
I couldn't figure that one out.
I think that's got to be the connection.
Like a person or a place?
I don't know if it's a person, a place. There's a lot of stuff in the hut, in hut space. But I don't know. I think it's, if you all can pursue it, this is your ship and it's your choice. But you could shape the face, like you could shape the galaxy by what you do.
Wait. Look, who are we? We're just trying to stay out of everybody's way. I mean, we just came together by pure chance. I mean, rebels, empire. This is a lot for me to take in right here. I don't. He's sort of looking to the others because, like,
I know. You all want the freedom of the Outer Rims, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're out here. That's why anyone's out here. Right?
You're not going to have that anymore if the Imperial shut down all the hyperspace lanes.
Yeah. There's
that traveling that you love to do, gone. Worlds you love to visit, gone. You ever lived under Imperial oppression?
About.
Well, I mean, I lived on Coruscant, so yeah, I mean...
Yeah, the place is garbage.
Right.
So you should know what happens when they get control of the Outer Rims as well.
Yeah, I mean, I got no love for the imps, but I don't know that I necessarily want to become part of the rebellion. I mean, is that what you're asking us?
No. You don't... I'm saying where we're at right now, I need help.
Okay. We need jobs.
You need jobs. And you want freedom, right?
Right.
I'm saying there's a job in here. It's just a job of a little bit more significance. And when it's done, you drop us off on whatever planet, ideally not heavily Imperial controlled, and we're gone.
Are you taking this technology with you?
I would like to.
So our job is not just to keep the Empire from getting the technology, but to also turn it over to the rebellion.
I think that would be ideal.
Something to think about for sure.
Does it change matters if we think we saw the ship with that technology in wreckage?
No, I don't think, and Kai pipes in, I don't think the technology was on Socorro. I think...
What happened to it if it was on Socorro?
No. The technology that we were looking for was to help combat whatever this is. Whatever.
This technology is probably in hut space. I think what he's saying is the compound on Socorro was prepping to go in and get it.
Yeah.
The Empire doesn't have it yet. They're trying to, and we need to beat them there.
Okay.
And I mean, honestly, if the Hutts get it as well, that's also bad. Like, there's a lot of bad beings trying to get this.
Darian was also saying something, though, when we tried to help him, that he was adding a new custom mod that he didn't know about. That was supposed to, like, help travel, too. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
Well, he mentioned Navicrypt and stuff like that. It might have been something that the Empire was trying to do to allow them to get into hut space, either undetected or to get this technology and get out of there. I'm
just going off of show notes that are a month old, so...
That was an in-character response.
Yeah.
I mean, that checks out. That could be a real possibility.
And again, it's the Empire. That their presence on Socorro was all sort of illegal modifications and
unsanctioned.
Right, and experimenting and technology like that. So not everything the Empire was doing on Socorro necessarily ties into this job, but many of the advances that they were making there, the mad science and otherwise, probably could have been folded into their attempts to get into Hutt space and steal this. But the important thing to note is that we're going to Hutt space right now. Currently, the ship is going there, so we need to decide whether we're on board with this and whether we are now free agents working for the rebellion.
Well, I mean, we got to pay off your debt. We need money to fix this dang ship. We need money to survive on. There's a job sitting right in front of us.
Can't let the Imperials get that technology.
I mean, if that's a side effect, sure, why not?
I'm all for it, I guess, if it means we get to help keep people safe.
All right,
That always
so
said I would have a big role in the galaxy. I don't think he meant this.
should I tighten our coordinates closer into and Vosk will tap the data pad? Should I bring us closer into this, or do we want to jump to Nalhutta or Tordaria or somewhere?
Maybe stock up on supplies first.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, just to be clear, I mean, we should definitely prepare ourselves a little. Also, did I miss it? Do we know what is out there, like at these coordinates? We don't know,
I have
right?
no idea, right?
Hey,
I don't know if we're going to a station or an undiscovered planet or...
Oh, now we're talking my language. Okay, I'm on board 100%. You got it. Let's go somewhere safe for a moment so we can we definitely need to buy some medical supplies. He's looking pointedly at Kane. all of us are like have been shot to heck. We really haven't had much of a chance to clean up and whatever. Like some medical supplies, some probably some minor equipment upgrades if we can. Maybe we can even get a little bit of information.
That will be key.
Next time, I'm just going to say new place and you'll be right on board, right? That's how it's going to go.
I'm going to go set us on a course for Nalhutta then. Cool. And Vosk is going to head up to the cockpit and astrogate.
You would know that's pretty much exclusive for Hutts and would cause some problems, but Nar Shaddaa...
Nar Shaddaa is what I meant. Yeah. Sorry. I specifically meant the Smuggler Moon. Yeah. I have Lord of Nalhutta information open, and I did that thing where I was reading and said what I was reading.
Yep. Oops. Yeah, she says, well, I will personally forever be in your debt for getting Kai out of there, and the galaxy may be forever in your debt as well. Thanks for your willingness. And what do you think would constitute fair payment?
That is certainly the question of the hour. Oh yeah, I'm not there anymore.
Part of me is like, let's cash in obligation. We get owed obligation. The rebels owe us a favor.
I don't know. This is all kind of new to me. I mean, yeah. What do you think is fair? What do you want to pay? What are you offering?
Well, if I can use your comms and send some messages, I could probably tell you more specifically what I can offer. But I imagine it's a pretty good chunk of credits.
In addition to the credits, I'm going to need one more thing.
Okay.
Some information on a rebel.
Zarko looks at Kane.
His name's... I thought it was something like Durian. Dara.
Should we talk about that privately?
Maybe that's for the best.
I'll take that as my cue, and I will get up and I will go to my quarters and change and clean up.
Yeah, I'm sure I have to move more of my stuff out of the quarters. I'll be in the med bay sleeping. You can have my room, right? That's how it's been. Okay. And I leave too.
What kind of information?
I need to know what he's been up to the last few years.
Side note, can I still be listening in the hallway though?
Yeah, like there's this. The camera is in the corridor.
Like, both of
Zarko
us
goes
just
out and
walk-
goes one direction. Ellie goes the other direction, and then like 2 seconds later or 3 seconds later, we're both turned back around.
I imagine you.
We're like-
I imagine you both doing that thing where you're like taking your big steps and then you like soften them to make it so you're getting further away.
And then I just see that you're doing it. I'm like, there. Like,
Yeah, there's a
Because,
shoulder shrug. Like,
I'm not going to guarantee information depending on what I find, but I will ask. Is that sufficient for you?
Appreciate it. We ran some jobs a couple of years ago, and up until today, I thought he was dead.
You ran jobs for the rebellion.
I just ran some jobs. It's kind of like this sort of deal, you know?
Okay,
It's just
fair enough.
what he was my contact.
Got it. Well, yeah. I have some contacts on Nar Shaddaa, or if you want me to use the comms, I can do that as well to finalize payment. But seems we have at least the groundworks for a deal.
Yeah, I believe you'll have to talk numbers with the crew. It's what they seem to be most interested in. But me, it's a different sort of life I lead. And he'll pick up his 200, one of the credit sticks off the table.
oh,
And he
I already
hands-
took them.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah.
Well, give me mine.
No. All
right.
credits go through me.
All right. Well, then I'm going to hand her 200 of my credits. Hand it over on my credit stick. And I've been without a home. I've been living the life you and Kai are about to lead, and it's not going to be an easy one.
She actually respectfully like closes it back in your hand and says, "Thank you. You're probably going to need those more than I will."
Fair enough.
And looks at Kai and says, "Like, let's go get some rest. It has been a day or a lifetime, really." He goes, "Yeah, I think you're right. Let's go." get some
Zarko
rest."
quickly moves Niffer.
Yep.
God, I keep doing that. I apologize. Zarko
It's fine.
quickly moves Ellie
Yeah, it's like, oh, quick, they're coming. Get
Yeah,
out.
right. But he also goes with you, and then once Ellie and Zarko are like far enough away, he's like he kind of leans in. He's like, I think you made an okay choice with this Kane fella here. And that's it. And he keeps going back to his quarters.
So to kind of speed up the process, you guys have that meeting. Anything else anybody wants to do as far as conversations on the ship while you guys are in hyperspace?
I'm going to go to my room, which in our early conversations was established as one of the smuggler holes in the cargo hold.
Yep. Nice.
Where I retire for the evening.
Perfect.
I moved more of my personal effects from my room because Shay was in my room. And so
Nice.
I also leave a note being like, no funny business in my bed.
I still feel like there would be some kind of guest quarters that we would have set up
Nah.
somehow.
There's a
Turned
couple
into a
different
kitchen.
conversations on that. Ellie did want the giant kitchen, so I did specifically map out.
We 100% left no room for friends. We only want a kitchen.
Fair enough.
My original ship design had 4 independent bedrooms and a big common area, though. So
Right.
we didn't have passenger areas outside of common areas and cargo hold. But that's because I'm working with what I got.
Well,
Which
look,
is
if
great.
they're going to be with us for a while, I don't mind. It'll be like camping out. I even have a tent. And I will actually not let Ellie like sleep out of her own room, and like Zarko would like literally just go into the cargo hold and set up this freaking tent.
The excess stock or light freighter has that weird chunk that sticks out on the side and stuff, and I'm totally just imagining like the tent set up now, and he's got like some 550 parachute cord running from one side to the other. That's got like his cargo pants chucked over it and a pair of socks, and you're just like, all right, because we don't have anything outside of our like ship's complement of cargo right now. So there's not a ton of stuff in there.
No.
So
I also like to think you set up the tent right on top of the the grate that Kane is underneath.
You have to like bang on it every time you want to get out.
No, Kane has his own room.
So hyperspace travel is not as fast as it is in the movies.
That's where Kane keeps all of his gear, though, his weapons and stuff.
So essentially, you guys will be traveling for about a week and a half in hyperspace. You recover a wound every day, which should put everybody back at full health.
Yes.
is it going to be multiple jumps? Will we have to hop out and jump back in and adjust?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
But I'm not going to make you roll for any of that because they're like, you're not under duress or anything like that. You're just traveling on pretty standard
Lanes.
Yeah, hyper lanes. So you guys make it to Nar Shaddaa,
right?
Nar Shaddaa. Yep. And it's Coruscant like.
Especially if we play Old Republic. It's like, 10 more
Yeah, I'm like,
levels
we've
of...
all played this together recently.
Yeah. It's like a citywide planet, multiple levels.
Planet-wide
city. Yep. Planet-wide city. It's multiple levels.
It's a citywide planet. Like you can just,
tiny, just a tiny little planet.
Tiny
That's no moon.
That's just a planet.
That's a tiny planet.
It's a tiny planet.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah. So it's like Coruscant. It's just in general darker and grittier and dirtier. And like when you land in the hangar and you walk out, it just smells special.
San Francisco. Got it.
Exactly. What specifically do you want to do?
We're probably going to sell a bunch of stuff that we got off a bunch of Hut Thugs and Stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
I have inventory up.
We're probably going to buy
for the
some
sake
gear.
of the story. If there's stuff that you want to sell, it'll basically be at 75% of retail value.
Okay.
I don't want to spend. I think technically for this arc we're supposed to have 2 more episodes.
Okay.
So I don't want to spend too much time.
So
doing
no
a whole
shopping
thing.
episode?
Yeah. So if there is specific stuff you want to buy, as long as it doesn't have a restricted label,
Got it.
I'm happy for that to be something that you get in just at retail price. If there's any like role play specific stuff you want to do on Nar Shaddaa, we can definitely do that. If not, I'm going to say let's do the buying and stuff like that. We'll do that in
off screen
in chat, because buying and selling, while it can make for some fun stuff, in this case, I don't think it's super relevant.
Okay. There will probably be a couple of things that I want to do on the planet, just in a Vosky kind of way, because I've been trying to think of better ways to inject his character and backstory into things.
Okay.
But not things that I'm going to think of in the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
So give me 2 weeks to think about it, and I'll come up with stuff.
You all get 340 credits to spend from the party fund allowance.
Got it.
So while you're here, you've landed in this kind of, you're pretty used to, you've been on the edge of the Empire. Oh, use the actual game name.
Roll credits.
for a while. So this hangar is seedy, but it's not anything that you haven't seen before. It's fairly well organized in its own underworld sort of way. to someone who hasn't been in these sort of hangars, it would look like chaos. But to you all who have been on the outer rim on a planet like Socorro for a long time, you can kind of see the lay of the land and where it's safe to go, where you probably shouldn't go, all that kind of stuff. Shay also exits with you, and she says, I need to make a connection. I should be back in it later today. But I'll need a couple hours to kind of finalize things with you all.
You have a comm
Kai,
channel?
would you?
He's going to stay on the ship. Since he's been working with the Imperials recently, we don't really want his face to be shown
That's
around.
probably wise.
Yeah.
You know, I just realized I forgot to ask. Do we need to be worried about like hollow recorders back on that compound?
Maybe.
I meant to bring it up earlier, but
Yeah, that's fair. So did I.
it sort of slipped my mind until now.
It's been about 2 weeks, so I guess you could go back and do something about that if you really want to, but it seems like what's happened. And it wouldn't be, it never hurts to be discreet, is what I'll say. That's what I've learned.
I mean, I already have a massive bounty on my head. What's the worst that could happen?
Bigger bounty.
You what?
That's a fair point.
So where are we going to shop?
She was there when we met Ulfie, right?
Oh, yeah.
She
Yeah.
was totally.
Yeah, she was.
Yep.
She was. Oh, yeah, that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember my dad.
Yeah,
You're not liking my dad anymore.
There was a lot that day. I slipped my mind.
Yep.
But,
It's okay.
anyways.
I've been trying to forget about it.
yeah, be careful on this moon.
If it helps, I did get a disguise kit. If I want to use that, maybe to move around.
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
What are you guys doing?
I mean,
Or-
aside from getting supplies and gear,
All the stim packs.
is there a chance that Vosk or Zarko possibly know someone on this planet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Vosk definitely does. I was actually curious about using a light side point to make sure that a very specific person was not only here, but here right now,
Perfect.
to make sure that they weren't off doing something else.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, I would like to burn a light side. I'll go do that on my sheet in a second. But I want to make sure that a very specific contact from Vosk's past is here and that I can go talk to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Who is that contact?
Space boyfriend.
It's not my space boyfriend.
Dang it.
No,
I ship it so hard. Boyfriend on every planet.
It's my space side piece, obviously, the space boyfriend doesn't know about. It's actually an information broker would be the best way to put that. Somebody that Vosk has talked to in the past. Their name is Sirroh, Sirroh. They are, I don't know. Pick a species. Somebody.
Chowder fam.
I don't even know.
Ewok.
You're the worst.
Gungan.
Anyone that's not Ellie.
Droid.
What's it? Here, hold on, I have the Null Hutta book. They've got some fun
Yeah, give me something hut spacey.
hut spacey.
It could be a Toydarian.
Could be.
Yeah,
it's
actually,
not.
that's one of them.
Pit droid.
I'm gonna have to just cut out all of the things. They're Deveronian.
Doug.
Yes, that's a good one.
Devronian, sure.
Yep.
Fine.
Cool. So I'm gonna go see a Deveronian named Sirroh.
Okay.
And like I said, she's somebody from Vosk past. And I got questions for her.
Okay, you taking the group or are you doing it by yourself?
Depends on who's going with Vosk, but that's where Vosk is going.
I mean, Sarko would generally hang out with them.
I'm going to advocate no one goes anywhere alone. So
Seems like a good idea.
Cool. So
And you said Sirroh is a she, her?
correct.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of go to a couple old spots. It takes a few. You have to meet with a couple contacts and kind of go through that whole route.
Right. The light side point that I'm going to go spin now is I find her today. Exactly. Like it's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it only takes you like an hour or so, till you end up in kind of a small cantina. You go to a back room, and just sitting at a booth is this very finely dressed Deveronian woman. Lots of like gold and kind of lavish stuff. And as you walk in, she says, Vosk, what brings you this way?
Things got a little spicy back on Socorro, and we're actually here.
Was that you?
Yes, you've heard of us.
Great.
I hear pretty much.
It was everyone but him.
That's actually what I'm here about.
That's a new leaf for you. I always thought you were just more of a...
You hooked me up with a job, and
it paid you well?
Paid well, and I got there, and oddly enough, I was keeping my head down and just doing the things that we had agreed upon. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't you know it, if a rebel agent didn't show up and have a big list of demands. And so I need you to touch base with your rebel contacts and make sure that this person is on the level, because I was under the impression that the only real involvement the rebels had there in Vakia were our dead drops. So what gives, and why did no one tell me that this whole inquiry into the Imperial compound and stuff like that is coming down? Why am I finding out from some random lady instead of anyone up the chain?
She looks at you up and down and smiles and says, well, first off, Vosk, I always do love seeing you. Such a nice fellow. You are a mechanic.
Right.
Your place on need to know things is pretty low. But
I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying that
so you want to know
for the job.
If this individual is still with the rebellion, is on the level, is...
I'm wanting to know if it was rebel orders or if she was doing it for personal reasons, because she came there looking for somebody that meant something to her. And I get that this was a time sensitive thing, but if the rebellion had simply just asked me to get a job in the compound, I could have done the whole sniveling mechanic who's looking for work thing over the course of several weeks instead of the course of several hours. And we could have probably got in there and out of there without blowing holes in the wall and starting a hut on hut gang warfare. Like, subtlety.
Yeah, that's not the Venderjar way. Subtlety's not their thing anyways.
Right, I'm talking about subtlety on our part. If I would have known that the rebels wanted something out of that compound, I could have worked on getting in there and making it happen instead of whatever the hell that all was.
Yeah. I will ask around for you. You're probably going to have to owe me a little bit of something, though.
I always do.
Yes, you do. But you have a ship you're with these days?
I do, and we're docked here in town.
All right, I will send the information you're asking for over that way, and if you need if I need anything from you, I will of course let you know.
I'll jot my comm number or however that works on a page out of my notebook from my pocket.
Space phone number
to her. Yeah, space
frequency.
Phone number.
The frequency.
You have to scan a QR code.
She says, well, if you need anything else, you let me know.
We'll be in town for maybe a day or so. Things are definitely weird, so looking forward to whatever information you can get me, and I'll get you whatever information that I can get you.
Perfect. And with that, we're going to have to find out what else the group does on Nar Shaddaa and what happens with Shay and Kai next time on Broken Space, Second Sunrise, Tabletop Galaxy, something.
All of the adjectives.
Yeah. So everybody in the chat that was talking, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yo, we made it a whole episode without me doing the Niffer.
I know.
Hey!
I'm going to have to get you to describe what that is for the audio.
Oh, sorry.
only and stuff
Everybody,
like that.
Niffer stress panics and just clasps her hands on top of her head and freaks out.
That's the Niffer. So
That's the Niffer.
next time you're stressed,
Just TP your hands on top of your forehead.
Yep.
And just stress out. It's really therapeutic.
Let it all go.
It's something that I'm looking more into. If you've seen any of my Twitter conversations lately, I'm trying to figure out how to be better about the audio only, but also I'm looking at how we might incorporate subtitles and other things for transcripts and stuff for hard of hearing, or, making sure that our fonts are okay for dyslexic and like bad eyesight and all of those other things. So I'm trying to kind of spruce stuff up a little bit, especially as we end Broken Space and start the next thing. So just keeping an eye out on that kind of stuff. Before we get into our outro, though, I do want to go ahead and say thank you real quick to Roll20, because they do sponsor this show, and they have given us 1 year of Roll20 Pro, which we do need for all of our fancy dice rolls and stuff. I hear that there is a default Star Wars sheet coming to Roll20, and I need to do some research on that. But currently, if you want to do the fancy FFG polyhedrals, you do need Roll20 Pro. So the fact that Roll20 is currently sponsoring this show saves us quite a bit of money that we can put into other things like production value instead of just paying to be able to roll the dice. So thanks for that.
Yep.
Hooray for Roll20.
And
Thank you.
Outros. Niffer.
I'm at NifferNiff on Twitter, and I'm responsible for all of the errors on the Tabletop Galaxy Twitter, because that was apparently a problem in recent times. So I'm taking public accountability for it now.
We're just going to learn you some Star Wars is all it is.
I can't tell time zones, guys, and I just can't.
Time zones are rough.
I do cute art, okay? That's how I make up for that.
Time zones aren't even
That's all
real.
I need. It's true.
Luckily for the Clone Wars game that we're going to do, you're just going to have to make one art and then change the color on all of them.
I've actually been looking forward to that. I'm really excited.
Nick.
I'm Nick, and you can find me at Twitter. Nope, not at Twitter. Well, I guess at Twitter. On Twitter?
Yep.
I tweet sometimes.
In Twitter.
In Twitter. On Twitter.
To Twitter.
At Lizard King Nick. So that is an example of some quality material you'll get following me.
What else do you do?
What else do I do? I'm also a member of the Roll Initiative YouTube channel. We're also on or in Twitter at Initiative Roll.
Got it. I'm going to have to figure out which members of that crew are actually interested in Star Wars things, or if not Star Wars, then maybe like Cyberpunk and stuff like that. And I'd love to run a one-shot for you and Val and Curtis and something. So y'all chat amongst yourselves and figure out if you want like a Shadow of the Beanstalk, Cyberpunk, Blade Runner thing or what. So
Shadow of the Beanstalk was so cool.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
just saying.
Nif stared somebody to death, I just got to say.
Damn.
Proudest moment.
That's intense. Gregory.
Continuing along, though, I am Seal. You can find me on the internet in like a million places at One Crit Wonder. I do RPG videos, actual plays, mumbling about my thoughts, and on Twitter I'm just a mess of everything from bad puns to story prompts to like polls about stuff, whether it be making your content better or running your games smoother or whatever. So
He also has all the real facts on the Tabletop Galaxy Twitter.
I heard dad puns.
Bad puns, dad puns, doesn't matter. Like
He's got both.
Both is
Both
good.
favorites.
passing it on down to Gregory.
Hello, and thank you for joining us tonight. I am Gregory. You can find me either in one of two places, either using Gregory Festo, at Gregory Festo, that's me name, but you can also find me on YouTube and other places at 1N20DND. So yeah, I do YouTube. I've been doing a daily vlog. Today was 333. And so we're getting awfully close to 365. It's exciting. And then I need a break. But you can stay tuned. They'll be definitely doing more live, like actual play and that kind of thing. I do stream on Monday nights playing some D&D with some really fun guys. And we have a good laugh playing D&D, the Princes of the Apocalypse. And you can also find me on Sunday nights, also on Twitch. Again, 1N20DND. Usually playing some Star Wars, the SWOTAR, Star Wars, the Old Republic, with a bunch of these people and some of the other members of the other crew. We won't name them.
Dun dun dun.
Star Wars The Old Republic is the only reason I know what we're talking about when we say Nar Shaddaa, so thank you.
I didn't realize there were so many mushrooms in Princes of the Apocalypse.
You know.
You said there was a bunch of fungi.
Oh, that's
Oh no.
Bad puns, dad puns. What was that we were saying?
there you go.
Bad dad puns. And I'm Steven. I'm on Twitter at @the_baddDM. I also DM for the Not Quite Heroes podcast, which is at NQH podcast on the Twitters. And I am launching a new show in January called the Faeforge Academy, which if you want to keep up to date, that's at FAEFORGE Academy. And that's like a magic school, Harry Potter, the Magicians kind of feel thing.
Hype.
At a school set in the Feywilds or on the border of the Feywilds and the material plane. Doesn't matter. And I get to hang out with these people and explore the Star Wars galaxy, which is the best. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching and hanging out. Hope you enjoyed a lot of role play today. That was fun. Oh, y'all get 10 XP.
Hey.
Forgot that. And
I love a good XP.
yeah, we'll see you next time in a galaxy far, far away.
No, don't do the Niffer. I'm not freaked out.
All right, guys, we out.
That was all.